Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. And welcome to Morning Brew. Wherever you are, whenever you're watching, I do hope it's a good one. You know, it's funny. Um, I was watching another stream, that's why I was a little bit late and got the intro sorted out. Um, I do like the new intro, by the way. That was done by with help from Loki of Loki's Mornings of Mischief. Um, and that really helped. I'm going to need to get a new icon because this one is good. It's just not perfect. And I want perfect. And let's get to the chat. Let's see here. Let me see if I can get my mouse to work right. Hello, Brandon, Looney Tunes fan 2000. How are you this morning? Hello, Scotty R37. Kapla Berta Prey 5. Bonjour. 47 Yorktown. I make a comment one time and now you gotta say bonjour every time. even if it's not on my own channel. And of course, Stream Elements is in the chat. Good morning, Dave G Sound. Good afternoon, Mountains of Elysium. So, yes, you're lurking and listening while at work. Let's see here. People talking to each other, which is always good. And I've got somebody backstage. Definitely have to let her in just a moment. Let's see here. We got to get caught up. There we go. And yes, thank you, Brandon. I appreciate that. I saw that video. And here in the stream, I'm adding Anti-Derivative Jill.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. How are you this morning?
I'm doing fine. Just here. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you.
Yeah. So you already said hi to the chat?
Yep.
Hey. Oh, you had a new intro. I missed that because I got here late.
Well, it's the one I've been using. It's the coffee one. I didn't know if you'd seen it or not.
I don't know either. It's been a while.
Then you probably haven't seen it. So, actually, I've been wanting to talk to you about a couple of things. What got you started on YouTube? Really?
Really? Well, it's just I would walk around. I have to do chores around the house, so I started listening to live streams, and I found one particular live stream. I guess Cardinal Sins chat and also Clobbering Times.
Yeah.
And so I found Saturday Night Star Trek. They were talking about the animated series, which of course is fantastic. And I started engaging in that chat. And Clobby invited me to talk about Jean's 100th birthday. So this was a couple of years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And that was my first live stream that I was on. It wasn't my own YouTube channel, but I started my own channel after being on a few panels. I was on a panel at he's called Captain Finity now, but I was on a panel on his show and he disappeared for some reason. And I was stuck on the panel just with Pop Culture Curator. And he was telling me about the time that he met DeForest Kelly, and he went to the convention and DeForest Kelly was reading his poetry to the crowd. And I didn't even know that he wrote any poetry. And of course, the poetry is about his time in Star Trek, making the movies after the
Mm-hmm.
series. And I was so enthralled by that I decided to stream about it. So I ended up reading not an autobiography. I really wish that DeForest Kelly had written an autobiography, but just a plain biography. But it was a good one, from sawdust to stardust is the name of it. Because of course, where he lived when he was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was my first live stream. It was about DeForest Kelly's life, and I read one of his poems throughout the live stream.
Cool.
And it was a really good one. And then after that, I my plan for the channel was to review the Orville. I realized I could review all of it up until season 3 was released, and then I could review season 3.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So that was it.
Cool. I like that.
It was a good journey. I'm still here. I still go. Right. And I still go to Clobber Times channel on
Mm-hmm.
Saturdays. We're all the way up to Deep Space Nine now, in the middle of the 4th season. A few bad episodes, but I know it's going to get better, because I know it's 4th season. Worf is there. It's got to be better.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You know, that's the funny thing. There are quite a few channels around that you know, get to know people, and yeah, you can get to be on a few channels, and that's that's actually fun.
Yes, it is. How did you get started? I don't know if I ever really listened to your story.
Well, actually, mine was really simple. It was talking to Doomcock, who was originally the one who, because I'd had a GoFundMe before with medical problems. Fortunately, uh, those problems are not of an issue anymore. So,
Oh, that's good to hear.
and
Oh, Doomcock also, definitely. He's definitely an influence on everyone.
so he definitely helped with that. And then Loki's More Than Just Mischief, also encouraged me to start streaming. So that's one thing. And it's like, finally one day I just did, and I just, I had people actually show up in the chat, and I was surprised.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I prepare some reviews of stuff, and I just started. At first, I was reviewing the was it the second season of Star Trek Picard, and it was terrible. But oh wait, no, maybe it was the first one. I don't know. It was the second. It was definitely the second one. I didn't make it past 3 episodes, but
Wow.
those were some of my first live streams, outside of the Orville,
Mm-hmm.
where I was just streaming alone, and it was fun, and people do show up.
Oh, that is another thing. You do have some excellent Star Trek discussions.
Yes, thank you. I do a lot of research. I don't always know everything, but by the time I'm live, I know quite a bit.
Well, that's the that's the thing. You do put in work. You do
Yes, I.
stuff to learn what
Mhm.
the history of things, and that's the fun part.
That is the most fun part for me. I always want to find out more about what went into actually making this wonderful thing that brings us all together.
You know, um, and I like how you have there are times that you've had the panel open. There are times you've had set guests. I like both, although I've never come on. Um, but
Well, you know your Star Trek, so you're invited on almost any of my shows.
I appreciate that. I never thought to ask. I just figured, when somebody wants me on, I'll come on. But
Yeah, I feel the same way. I get it.
I just
Well, if there's a particular episode you want to join me for TOS, let me know and you can be on for
oh,
that one.
absolutely, absolutely. Thank you.
You're
I
welcome.
appreciate that. That wasn't the reason I asked you to come on this morning. I just
Oh no, I know. No, we were just in Bird of Prey 5's chat and you invited me. So yeah, no.
I I thought it'd be nice to have you on. Um, and if somebody would be nice enough to drop the link to her channel, please, it would be. And Mr. Lundell's Guru Movie says I should do some more streaming. Well, I'm going to. I'm going to do more streaming.
I agree completely with Mr. Lundell.
I
And he
promise
has
I'm going to do more.
you got to trust a man with such a cool batleth.
This is true. Cool batless and pictures of Uhura in the background.
Yeah.
Those are those are some good images that he has back there. So
Hmm. Absolutely. She's gorgeous. Hey,
abs- absolutely. I mean, you're it's one thing another woman can say a woman is gorgeous, and that's yeah.
and look, I got my channel link is in there 3 times. How do I know about the batleth? You can have it right there in your background. How could I not
Absolutely.
know about it?
Absolutely. You've had it front and center in the background quite a number of times, so it's famous, somewhat infamous actually, that you always have your battles there. Hey, Captain MKG, Gap
Yeah.
After Dark, Raquel.
Oh, Raquel SSG.
Mm-hmm.
Did I miss you finishing your painting? I know you're painting that Nightmare Before Christmas painting, Raquel. And also in the chat, I see Scotty R37. I don't know
Yep.
if you said hi to him.
Yes, I did, but
Okay, great.
that was before you got here.
Mm.
He was one of the first ones in the chat. And hey, Cody Guy. Hey, Positive Candor. Ah, you know, I like the fact that you tend to talk about things you do like versus the. I mean, you'll mention the fact that you don't like Picard, you don't like um, other
Right.
shows.
Right. I do try to focus on the positive stuff, the stuff that I love on my Tuesday show. But if I am going to talk about stuff I don't like obviously anything made after 2005, then I reserve that talk just for Fridays. If anybody wants to talk about that stuff, that's the day for it. And
So
so
you do have a day for it, but it's
mhm.
it's definitely separate
It's
from the
separate
others.
and it's not equal. And I did talk about, the episodes of Strange New Worlds and all my problems with that on Fridays. And so, yeah. But Tuesdays will always be positive.
Awesome. I'm sorry, Six. I was in the middle of talking when I saw you post something. Hello, Six. How are you, beautiful?
Hello, Six.
And yes, I can say that because you have a beautiful voice.
Although, yeah, she does. She was with me on one of the Saturday night Star Treks where Raquel couldn't be on. So
Mm-hmm.
Clobby had a free Star Trek talk, just like a, and she was there for the first 20 minutes.
Cool.
She's great.
Six is on a lot of good things. That's the thing I like about her.
Right. Well, if you ever need her, just see if Midnight's Edge is live. You'll find her.
Oh yeah, I've in fact I said something to her the other day in the chat, and she's like, about coming on one time, and she's like, "Oh, you mean your um, OnlyFans account?" I'm like, "Uh huh, yeah, that's it."
And I guess maybe the only time I wasn't positive was this last Tuesday. This Tuesday, I my computer crashed and so I couldn't stream. But the Tuesday before that, was the alternative factor. So it was kind of tough being positive for that one. No, Raquel, you didn't miss my live stream. Yesterday I didn't stream because my computer crashed and I had to fix it. But it's all better now.
What was the problem with the computer?
I don't know. I should have diagnosed it. I'm a computer scientist. I should have done my due diligence, but all I did was I did a reinstall and I didn't want to deal with it.
You did the easier thing. Yeah.
Yes. I took the easy way out, but next time I'll figure out what it was. When next time it crashes, I'll have to figure it out. Scotty R37 says alternative factor rules. What of what of Lazarus?
It's funny because you're right. It is hard to be positive about that unless you're considering other current.
No, I even allowed people to talk about the filth during that live stream. That's how bad it was.
And good morning, Blind Neil. Laptop is frozen multiple times in the last week. I'm buying a new one. Yeah, I think I'm going to need to do that eventually too. All of a sudden, something will happen and it'll freeze up, and I'm like, crap.
Yeah, I need a new one too. Let's all get new laptops.
Now, if we could only find some place to do a bulk purchase where we could get a good deal on it.
Yeah, right.
Hey, I can dream. Like,
Maybe
hey, oh,
for the
by the
price of
way.
two.
Well, I was thinking, if we could find like 10 people, it's like, oh, hey, we're gonna need this and this and this, and we're gonna need a deal on it. Um, oh yeah, here's the 10 separate addresses to email to send them to. No big deal.
It's a good fantasy. It'll never happen.
Hey, it'll never happen, but it's a fantasy nonetheless. But no, I do need to get a better computer. Just when I got this one, it's just like I needed a computer right then, and uh, got the best one that I could afford.
Mhm. Sounds like it's time for an upgrade.
It is. It is. So, what have you got coming up?
Um. Oh, Friday. Actually, Thursday. Thursday, I go to Scotty R37's channel, The Phantasmagorium,
Mm-hmm.
and I talk about Quantum Leap. So, in the evening, I know it's a busy night, but we like to talk about Quantum Leap. Then on Friday, I'm going to talk on my show, my Friday show. I'm going to talk about Forbidden Planet because I haven't done it yet, and it's a pillar of Star Trek, so I need that.
And I'm guessing that when you're talking about Quantum Leap, you're talking about the original.
That's right. We decided we wanted to talk about the fun one. And it's getting better because they're starting to add Al more into the plot line.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's still we didn't realize that it's kind of more of a soap opera than a science fiction. but when the science comes in it is good. And when Al shows up more, it is a lot more fun.
And good morning, DJ Ronnie G. How are you?
And I also like the historical aspect of it.
Oh, now that would be nice to do. Have a computer hooked up to a telescope.
DJ Ronnie G rescued a great acer from e-waste a few years ago. Oh, that's great. Oh, and he has a backyard telescope he keeps it attached to. So you got an amateur astronomy going. I should be doing that. I don't, but I I want to get into astrophysics at some point. Being able to observe the sky would be one good step.
Oh, absolutely. My computer is pretty. Blind Neil says my computer is pretty good. Quad core 32 gig RAM. I wish I had 32 gig of RAM.
I think I have 32. I
I
don't know
think I
how much
have
good.
16.
I don't know how much good it's doing me, but I have 30. I think I have 32. Let's see. Yep, 32 gigs of RAM, 31.9 gigabytes usable. So 0.1 is not usable RAM.
So, wow. You know, um, like I said, hearing you on different channels, it's always fun because you always seem to know something about Star Trek or whatever topic you're talking about.
Yeah, I tend for my shows I tend to do a lot of prep work so I have something to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
And when I'm on a different panel, I like to be on I tend to go on panels that have a lot of people who are already talking, who know what they want to talk about, and I just jump in whenever I can.
Oh, absolutely. Those are fun.
Mhm.
Um,
Those are great.
of course, there have been a few times I've been on a couple of panels where um, I was just there. I barely said anything because the rest of the panel was filling the time, and I was just going, "Okay, this is cool."
It is great when you can just sit back and enjoy it too, for sure.
I mean, I
And
would interject when I had something to say, but most of the time it was just like, "Okay, this is fun."
yeah, that's why for my shows I prepare what I want to talk about, and that's why on Mondays I go to Pop Culture Curators to talk about Star Trek the animated series, and we only have 5 episodes left, so it's going to be a sad day when we're done with that. Then on Tuesday, I talk about the original series.
Mm-hmm.
And when I'm done with the original series, I think I'm going to cover For All Mankind because I still haven't seen it.
You know what? I have never seen it.
Yeah. And so I'm going to do a show on that. But this next Monday for the animated series episode, we're going to talk about Bem, and then on Tuesday it'll be Tomorrow is Yesterday.
Mm,
Oh, it looks like
okay.
Raquel SSG has to go.
Yes,
Oh yeah.
Raquel has to go have it. Well, you have a good day, Raquel.
Bye, Raquel. See you later. Oh no. Oh, sorry about that.
No problem. I love how you know this isn't the first time somebody's had to answer their phone in the middle of a live stream. It's funny because people are most of the time they're very apologetic. It's just like uh, Jill there was she wasn't expecting it. All of a sudden, there we go. But no, and as I was telling, um, oh, and Pacific 414. Good morning, Mike. How are you? Six says culture. What about Culture Casino? Hey, Culture Casino, what's going on? Says look at that number, 777 subscribers. Yes, it's absolutely amazing. I'm amazed I have the number I do. Um, it's not something I pushed for beyond 700. Um, it's just been an honor and a privilege to everybody who has subscribe. And I love the fact that people, when I'm on, they'll either come to the live stream itself or they'll watch later and leave a comment. Um, ah, Pacific 414 said, I've been called reserved when on other panels, and I'll let everyone else speak and only interject when I have something to add to the conversation. Well, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I do that too. That's exactly how I'll be on panels that are not on my channel. Obviously, it's if it's my channel, it's up to me to come up with the conversation. But if it's someone
Right.
else's, I like to share, especially because really I'm an introvert. I don't know what I'm doing here.
I find it funny that a lot of people who are now on YouTube talking are introverts in real life.
Hmm.
And you wouldn't know it by their presence on YouTube.
Right, exactly.
So what I mean, I know what got you on YouTube, but what gave you that I'm going to do it when you first joined a live stream, when you first joined a panel, I'm sure you were nervous.
Oh yeah, I was extremely nervous. I was insanely nervous because this this guy asked me on his stream. I love, I had no idea if anybody would care what I had to say, and but I did it for Gene Roddenberry because I was invited by Clobby for Gene
Mm-hmm.
Roddenberry's birthday. How could I say no? So I did that, and the rest is, I guess, the rest is history. And I still get nervous sometimes.
Really?
Especially, yeah, I still do. It's not as bad. Some of my older live streams, and you can tell I'm not comfortable what I'm doing.
Well, anymore you obviously come across as comfortable, and you are enjoyable to listen to.
Thank you. 6 says, I'm an introvert too. I need a nap while hugging my teddy bear after streaming. Yeah, because it's draining. It is. It is a lot of fun, but after about 3 hours, usually is the time where I'm done.
See, I wouldn't have expected 6 to be an introvert. That's actually a surprise. I figured with the way she has taken charge, and like Midnight Edge will do their member streams. What she'll do is she'll have a practice stream set up for people who are just starting, want to come on for the first time, and they want to test their mic, they want to test their headset, that kind of thing. So it's actually working correctly. And she'll have a StreamYard set up just for that.
Hey, that's pretty great. Well, because the reason why that's easy to do is because she has a certain goal in mind. Help somebody see if their mic is working well. And so she's doing a sound check. So she has a certain particular job to do. So as long as we have something that we're actually focused on and doing, then we enjoy it. Like when I was in school, I was a math tutor. So I enjoyed that. Had no problem speaking then. You got a problem? Let's solve it. We don't know what to do. Let's look it up on Google.
Introverts aren't necessarily shy, they just don't draw energy from others. Thank you, 6. Yes. Your goal is to help others. And I think that's one reason that you're in the profession you are. I know you're in the medical field, so that's definitely something to help others. So that's not surprising. Ooh. Excuse me. Sorry, I just. Coffee went down the wrong way.
Coffee, good idea.
Oh.
That's what I was laughing at.
Yo, I'll solve it. Yeah.
Check out the hook while my DJ revolves it.
Thank you. Oh, yes. I don't want to mess up those lyrics. Wow. Um, thank you. I'm glad that you decided to come on this morning. It's been really fun having you up here to talk to.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Gap After Dark says, Jill, what's the cotangent? Is it a noun? Yeah, it's a noun. Cotangent is, I know that has to do with triangles.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got a right triangle with a hypotenuse and two sides. So cotangent is what the two sides divided by each other. But I forget if it's the bottom side or like there's an opposite and an anterior. side. So it's one of those two are divided by each other. So that's a cotangent.
Of course, you would be asked that question. Uh, Antiderivative, Jill. Yes.
Well, if I could figure out a way to make it fun, I'll do some math on my channel. But I have no idea how to make that interesting.
Oh, I'm sure that there are ways to make it fun.
I'm sure too. Lots of people have done it already, but I want to do something meaningful to me.
Of course.
I have no idea.
Let's see here now. People are laughing at what Six had to say, and
well, yeah, nothing's funnier than Vanilla Ice.
I hadn't heard Vanilla Ice in a while.
I had, but that's because I listened to a 90s radio station.
Oh, I need a good radio station near me. Either that or get an antenna so I can pick up better signal. The one that's near me now is country music, and I'm not exactly a huge fan of country.
Neither am I. Unless it was made before 1970, I'm not that interested. And, some classic country's good because they use banjos and it's kind of cute.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's more of a mix of all, which some of it I don't mind. Some of it is just like, oh my god.
Yeah, no, it's not right anymore. It hasn't been for 50 years.
Yeah. So it's either that or, I listen to some music online. So that's where I listen to most of the stuff anymore, where it's usually 80s and 90s that I'm listening to. Few that go into the 2000s, but very few.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not even the mid 2000s. It's just, but oh, and I see that Six is a huge country music fan.
Yeah, that's what that means. That's what that doesn't mean that's not a vomit emoji. That's
Oh.
Hello in the chat to Ricky W.
Hey, Ricky W, how are you this morning? I am amazed. I'll see some of these different people in different streams, like a lot of people I'll find either in Culture Casino stream or in Midnight's Edge or Bird of Prey 5. It's just amazing how many people
Yep. Yeah, we're all
get together.
interconnected.
Yeah.
Definitely. I just learned this morning about this animal called a zooid, and it's just this little multicellular creature that seems like nothing, but they get together and they get together by the million. I don't know if it's by the millions, but they're huge. They're the biggest animal on the planet when they hook themselves together, and they go from just one multicellular organism to a very large animal. And that's because they get together and they perform all the functions of one animal, like the reproductive and the digestive, and they it's kind of amazing. So we're a bit like that, aren't we?
Wow. Yeah. I hadn't even heard about it before.
Yeah, me
But
neither.
yeah,
I just
we
heard
are.
about it this morning.
Hmm. You'll have to let me know a little bit more about that later.
Yeah, well, it's a colony animal. That's what it is.
A colony animal. Cool.
Mm. And they just stick to each other. Yeah, exactly, Scotty. It's a colony creature. And that's kind of funny because, yeah, it's like BIM. And not only that, no, I don't even know how I found this video, but this video also had a slug that could take off its head. And so uh, I don't want to give too much away from our stream, but I kind of complain about the fact that BIM can take off his head. And so here's this actual creature on Earth who can do it.
Yeah, you don't want to give too much away for what you're going to be streaming. That's not a good idea.
But that is definitely going to be part of our review. I'm going to talk a little more about that slug.
Cool. So I'm looking forward to hearing that. No,
Mhm.
I'll admit I'm usually more of a lurker in a lot of chats.
Me too. I enjoy being in the chat.
So I'll be listening along and I like listening to your streams a lot.
Hey, yeah, I appreciate the lurkers as much as the people who are engaging in the chat. It's great. Good stuff.
I'm trying to get back to chatting more. I used to chat a lot more than I do, but I've gone into more lurking than chatting.
Well, that makes sense because if you're busy doing something else and you decide to engage in the chat, it's kind of hard to get away from it because you want to say hi to everybody, and now suddenly you're talking to the people in the chat and who the panel, whatever they're talking about, they encourage you to engage too. And so if you're just lurking, then it's a little more relaxing. You can just listen.
Well, the other thing is I'll be in there like in Culture Casino's channel. I'll be in there. I'm watching the chat because I'm a mod, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
this comes up for review. So I'm looking at it, going, okay, click.
Oh, right. Okay, because he has that setting on his chat where it'll hold a comment if the comment looks
Right.
questionable.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, that doesn't take you out from lurking. I've lurked Clobby's channel before, and nobody knew I was there. I was just approving. I was just approving comments because if he's talking about comic books, I might be there, but I won't say hi because I won't be able to engage otherwise. So so I usually just lurk those.
Well, that's a funny thing because I'll listen to streams about comic books. I'm not a
Right.
I have a few comic books, so it's not like I don't appreciate them.
Hmm.
I just don't have the same depth of passion and love for comic books that somebody like Clobber Times does.
Yeah, and he makes it interesting for anybody to listen to because of that passion that he has that's unparalleled.
That's the thing. Um, he brings something where he's able to share his love of comic books to people who may not necessarily share that passion.
Yeah, that's me. I didn't even have any, but because of Clobby's show and Raquel's um and their clubhouse, I bought
Mm-hmm.
I bought the Gold Key. I have the first volume of the Gold Key Star Trek comics. And they're kind of funny, these comic books, because they use completely different terminology than the show.
Really?
Yeah, they do. But still better than Kurtzman Trek.
Oh.
But sometimes I will reveal myself from lurking because if there's a bot, I gotta smash the bot. So then at least Clobby knows I'm there. I'm smashing his bots.
Well, trust me, he knows you're there when you're approving messages.
Oh yeah? Really? Does
Mhm.
that show up too?
That shows up for him.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Cardinal Sin says bug-eyed monster. And so he's talking about how we're going to talk about BEM. And so BEM stands for bug-eyed monster. Okay, that's good to know.
I'd forgotten that. I'd heard that before, but that's something that I hadn't even thought about in a long time. Bug-eyed monster. Good morning, Cardinal Sin. How are you?
I wonder what the origin for that is. Where does bug-eyed monster come from? That's one of those things that I would research. Yeah, maybe it's a good thing I couldn't stream about it on Monday because now I have more material for it.
More material?
You're all right.
More material is definitely a good thing. Give me just a moment. I will be right back. I gotta have a Delogia break.
Okay, that's fine. Hello, everybody. How are you guys doing? It's so great to see all of you here. Blind Neil and Donnie, who was it? Donnie, DJ Ronnie, not Donnie. I don't know why. I'm so sorry, Ronnie. For some reason, I was stripping off your J and your R and just making you Donnie instead of DJ Ronnie. You guys were talking about computers. Yeah. That's right. And so Dave G Sound says that BEM probably comes from 50s sci-fi, and Cardinal Sin gives me the answer that I wanted: 50s giant insect monster movies and movies about aliens from that time. And good morning to Pacific 414. He says good morning to Cardinal Sin 6, Dave G Sound, Scotty R37, and Blind Neil. And
oh, thank you, by the way, Jill.
You're welcome. Not a problem. They complained about bug-eyed monsters when Doctor Who began. They specifically wanted none to be in the show. Oh, wow. That didn't work out, did it? And Blind Neil says the bug-eyed monster BEM is an early convention of the science fiction genre. Extraterrestrials in science fiction of the 1930s. Hey, Scotty.
Good morning. Ahoy! Captain Fandom Nerd, how are you, sir?
Doing well. How are you, Scotty?
I am doing really, really well. I just had something I wanted to talk about real quick. Hey, Jill.
Go for it.
Hey.
I have had a very controversial opinion regarding Pon farr. I was of a mind that no, Vulcan males still have the coitus in between their 7-year itch. But they have to have the coitus every 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
Now, other people have told me, no, that's part of Vulcan logic and restraint. And I was like, wait a second. Amanda's a human lady who's married to a Vulcan. Now,
Mm-hmm.
is she satisfied being married to a man who only has the coitus once every 7 years? Now, I held by this. I said no, so they have to do it in between. But I was watching a clip of Voyager, and there is a moment where Lori Petty from Tank Girl is on an episode, and she is trying to express her love to Tuvok physically, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And
I
Tuvok
don't
is like,
remember this episode.
I can't do it. I'm not going to do it. First things first, he's married. But
Right, he has kids.
right, but he does have a little, and even to the point where he won't do the Pon farr in a holodeck, he still finds that to be disrespectful to his marriage. But so Tuvok gives a mind meld to Tank Girl, and she is like ecstatic and elated, which got me thinking, who needs the physical love if you can have hot and cold running mind melds all the time?
Yeah, exactly. That made me think that you actually read my essay.
Oh, I didn't. I just saw a clip when Tank Girl was on. But I can read yours. I didn't. Yeah. No, I didn't read it. Was it in a chat?
Yeah, it was in our chat, just a regular messenger.
Maybe I did read it and I forgot about it. Maybe I'm just telling. Am I telling your story? And thinking it was me?
No, it could be you.
Okay.
We could just be coming together on the idea.
Hey, watch it. Phrasing.
Way. Well, we are talking about Pon farr anyway.
It is true. That's why it works. That's the joke. Anyway, so that was on my mind, and I just wanted to say yes. I think that they only do the Pon farr.
But that's exactly where I go with it, is because they absolutely have to keep their emotions in check, so they're never going to be having sex out of passion because they restrain that passion, but there's still that need for bonding, and they satisfy that with their telepathic abilities.
Mm-hmm. Now, I do see some people in the chat just referring to it in terms of Spock specifically describes Pon farr. Yes, there is behind the scenes stuff with the writers. I think Dorothy Fontana had some opinions regarding it. Maybe, who was it? Who wrote Muck Time? I want to say it was Theodore Sturgeon. But maybe that's just because of the whole fish thing.
But technically, of course, Londell's right. There's no proof of it having happened outside of Pon farr.
Right.
In canon, on screen, it just hasn't happened.
True.
Mm-hmm.
Well, except for...
It just hasn't happened.
Fair enough.
It
good answer.
Hasn't happened.
No, I know what you're going to say.
No, I know what you were going to say.
If we both know what each other's going to say, why do we even talk anymore?
I don't even know. It's just a mind meld through wires.
Oh. Well, the reason... See, I don't know what you're going to say necessarily, so that's the...
Well, you saw it. I didn't watch it. You can describe it. So it's more real for you, Jill, than it is for me.
But no, there was a phone call that interrupted.
Oh, you had to get away from... Oh, the cable went out.
No, the phone... No, in the show.
Oh.
In the show, before they did that, there was a phone call.
Oh, okay. But Phil, Spock was going through Pon farr. I think it was his first.
Yes.
Yeah, and so that's why Savik and Spock,
Oh, that's right. Okay, there was sex outside of Pomfar.
No, that was
Oh,
Ponfar. He was doing Ponfar. That's
was
why
it
she
in
does
Star
it.
Trek
See,
3?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay.
he was
There
in
you go. Thank you.
Ponfar. She was not.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
They
So
always say the
Well,
obviously,
Vulcan oh wait, no.
it
T'Pol does
just
Ponfar.
yeah, it still counts as Ponfar if one of them has it.
Okay.
mhm.
They don't both have to be going through it. Then it would never happen.
You think that the parents would time it? It's an arranged marriage. It's only logical for them to go through Ponfar at the same time. Or maybe it's only logical so that they're not both in the middle of the Black Tau.
But does this biological function follow logic?
You would manage it. Come on. If there's anything that Vulcans can do best, it's manage their emotions.
You have to remember, Savick wasn't exactly planning on meeting
No.
up with Spock.
Mhm. She just sort of made it so that he wouldn't. Well, don't forget, if Spock didn't do
Die.
yeah, he would die.
Well, that makes sense.
I only have one day to live. All right, let's Ponfar. Great. Super.
And hey, Gorilla's Random Thoughts, how are you?
And Mr. Londell reminds us only males experience Ponfar.
I thought
Ah.
T'Pol did. I thought T'Pol went through Ponfar.
Did she?
I thought
I
she
haven't
did.
seen Enterprise in a long time.
Okay. Yeah, I don't remember if she did, which is weird because it would be kind of hot to see T'Pol go through Ponfar, but
Yeah, she
It
does.
would.
yeah. And Gap After Dark, coitus is when two people really love each other. They wrestle.
They wrestle, yes. Usually naked.
That's the best kind. What do they? Well, yeah. What's the name of the ceremony for Ponfar? Because they use it. There's the Lerpa. There's the Onwoon. There's the Kunut Kalifi. That's what it is. That's the ceremony for. It means
Yes.
either marriage or challenge.
Mhm.
Anyway, sorry guys, I'm running amok.
That was perfect.
You're welcome. Wrestling coitus is Klingon. That makes sense, Eagle Rider. That makes total sense.
This is sex.
Also, good morning, Eagle Rider. Cool to see ya.
Now that makes perfect sense there, Positive Candor. It would have had to have been because the aging process.
Yeah. So, do you guys think that Saavik was pregnant with Spock's kid? Like it was alluded to and cut from Star Trek 4. That's
was
why she
cut,
stays
so
on Vulcan.
there
So
is.
so it never happened.
So it never happened.
Okay, you're the boss.
I wish they'd left it not
too.
stated, but alluded to. If they made some sort of reference to it where you could have possibly assumed that happened, you know.
Well, Bird of
Maybe.
Prey 5 says absolutely.
Well, Bird, you know how to get in here if you want to add to it. You're always welcome to add to the discussion, Bird.
And then he continues. Spock's daughter is out there, but Saavik didn't want to tell Spock about her.
Oh, what if Dr. Solar from the Next Generation is the illegitimate love child of Saavik and Spock? I just picked a Vulcan out of a hat, so
Good as any. I don't have many Vulcans in my hat.
Well, not many girl Vulcans either.
Hmm.
I don't want her to be. I don't want her to be Valaris. Well, actually, Valaris doesn't make any sense, and that's like the only other Vulcan girl I know.
Hello world, it's Birdo5. Kapla.
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 So absolutely, Spock's daughter is out there. Savick was in an impossible situation. You know, she was pregnant, but Spock was going through the retraining of his mind.
Right.
She couldn't, say, oh, by the way, you're going to be a father. I mean, it would have been cruel. And so she kept it quiet. And then she didn't expect Spock was going to leave Vulcan and go to Earth to stand trial for something he didn't even do. But he left, and she was like, shit, well, I guess I'll raise the baby myself. It's the only logical thing to do. She never told the baby who her father was until she herself was quite old. And, so it was probably after Spock had already decided to go Romulan in unification that the baby really found out that she was Spock's daughter. And after all those years, it's like, well, it doesn't matter at this point. There's no logic in going to see my father, who had no point in raising me. And so her bloodline is not necessarily secret. It just never got out. But somewhere out there is Spock's daughter, who
Wow.
then probably had kids of her own.
I love that theory, dude. I love it.
I'm surprised it didn't come up in season 7 of TNG, where everybody else's secret family members came out.
All Starfleet has secret family.
Part of the application process.
And that there's a whole organization involved in keeping family secret called Section 32. They work hard.
How many Kirks? No. How many Rikers are strewn across the galaxy?
Yes, that's their motto. Work hard, play hard. Section 32 is there for you.
I would think Riker has at least 15 kids running around somewhere.
At least.
Yeah, that's a low estimate.
Kirk would have some, but half the women he
Not as
got
many.
involved with died.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. No, Kirk was a romantic, but he didn't bang everybody like Riker did.
Exactly.
Gap is saying you have a secret Borg baby.
Who has a
Picard?
secret Borg baby?
I would guess Picard.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only logical choice.
I mean, as fully functional as Data was, I don't think he could reproduce
No,
in that way.
he's shooting blanks.
Trying to think who else could be.
Who else could have kids that we don't know?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, considering it is the future and there have been babies born to people who never had sex to begin with, or at least didn't get pregnant, like T'Pol and Tucker's kid.
Right.
And God knows how many possible
Oh yeah,
children.
that didn't end well.
No.
709 is more likely to have a Borg baby than Jean-Luc. Are you sure about that?
Gap After Dark keeps sending messages and then deleting them.
And I bet the STD season 5 baby will be from two parents of the same gender.
Naturally.
Oh, yeah. Yes, but what gender?
Probably Stamets will carry the baby.
Oh, God.
Well, he's the only one who's still human. Isn't his husband now a mushroom?
Technically, yes. He's married to a mushroom.
Ba, 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 da, ba, da, ba, da, ba, da, ba, ba, da. Mario, mushrooms. Come on.
I got it.
Okay, it
Yeah.
just wasn't funny. Fair enough.
Actually, it was taking me a minute to process. It's like, okay, I'm Mario.
Anybody else? Well, no, they already had the screaming baby who broke all the dilithium. I don't want to talk about it.
Oh, Saru, yeah. My God, I forgot what species Saru, Kelpian.
Yeah.
Kelpian. I mean, it's so angry he destroys warp fields and dilithium.
Oh, the warp fields too, not just the dilithium. I really didn't watch that season.
Nah, yeah, it's probably just dilithium, but
Did you watch the new one? I watched like a takedown of it. I forget who it was. It was like something.
I mean,
cartoon.
I watched every season.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're
I
probably
watched
watching
Stacey Abrams
five
became
or
president
so.
of Earth.
I heard about that. Who were the bad guys at the end of season 4?
The white guys.
Who did they? Yeah, but where did they come from? How did they create the anomaly?
One of them was a scientist for the Orion Syndicate,
Okay.
or the Orion lady, her chief
Oh.
scientist, and he was trying to get back to his lover.
Well, then why were they white? Why weren't they green?
Well, because he was a human.
Oh. Okay, that makes sense.
Because it's like if you're strictly Orion, isn't it the Emerald something?
The Emerald Chain. He
That's-
worked for the Emerald Chain.
Yeah. And the Orion Syndicate can be of any race, I think. Because wasn't Bilby from Deep Space Nine, wasn't he an Orion? Or like part of the Syndicate?
He was part of the syndicate. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was part, yeah.
Oh, is that the O'Brien episode where
Yeah.
O'Brien gets a cat?
Unlike
That's
the
something I remember.
Mafia, you apparently didn't need to be Orion to be a made man. So there's,
Now I want to see Joe Pesci in a Deep Space Nine episode.
are you talking to me?
I don't know. I want Pesci to be a human who works for the Orion Syndicate, but I kind of want De Niro to be a Ferengi. I think that'd be pretty cool. And then, oh yeah, no, Al Pacino's got to be a Klingon.
Naturally.
Yes. Who else? Paul Sorvino would be a Klingon. I'm just going through the cast of Goodfellas and wondering,
So, Captain,
Yes,
thank you for having me up.
of
I
course.
do appreciate it. It's been a long time. I'm glad to see you streaming again.
Thank you. I've had people tell me I need to stream more.
It's appreciated.
Well, I'm going to, so that's a good thing. What I am going to do though is I am going to go ahead and close out now because Culture Casino is going to be coming up in a while, and I want to go ahead and get something to eat before going on to his stream. I'm not going on. I'm just
You're just
watch.
supporting. You're supporting a fellow channel, which is commendable. That's what I like to do as well, if I can. So, in the spirit of that, I do want to tell everybody to make sure to check out King Dolphin TV tonight at 5. Is it 4 Central? 5 Central?
I'll double check.
Oh man, I I'm promoting it and I don't even remember.
You got the channel right though.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 5 p.m. Central Time. Check out King Dolphin TV because Raquel Briggs, who you usually see on Clobby's show, will be on his channel.
Cool.
And she's always delightful. So definitely check her out.
Well, that's cool. So an hour before that, at 4 Eastern, I've got Shuttle Pod 1 playing on Enterprise Wednesday.
Oh, nice.
Oh, cool.
Apparently, this is an episode people either love or hate.
Is this the one where it's Trip and Reed in the
Yes.
shuttle pod? Awesome.
Well, if it's Trip and Reed, how could it be bad?
Some people hate this episode,
Mm-hmm.
and some people think it was their greatest episode ever made, literally in television.
Really?
I've heard, if you watch the Shuttle Pod podcast, which happens to be, have Trip and Reed, the real actors, hosting. There's a producer on there who literally put Shuttle Pod 1 as one of his top 5 episodes of television.
Is that how he got hired to be the producer on the shuttle pod 1?
Maybe.
Probably. That sounds accurate.
Like, it's a good episode, but I don't know. It's top 5 ever.
It's the best episode ever on
And
TV, apparently.
the actor who plays Reed, he like literally thinks it was like his best performance of his life. So,
Well,
wow. I'll be honest, I did not think I was going to like the episode, but I'm going to give it a fair chance.
Yeah, I went to the Star Trek convention, and Dominic Keating, who plays Malcolm Reed, and Connor Trenier, who plays Trip, they hosted the karaoke one night, and they were hilarious and they were a lot of fun. So I can imagine their podcast is like that.
It is. It's a lot of fun, and I strongly suggest any Trek fan check it out. It's called the Shuttle Pod Show. They've got like 20 plus episodes out, and it's really cool. And when they talk to a guest, you get a lot of backstories and stuff you never heard of before.
Cardinal Sin says Into the Fridge tomorrow at 7 p.m. Central.
Into the Fridge. Now that's a show I might watch.
I think he means Into the Fringe, but
I know.
Just think of the original Ghostbusters. So
Into the Fridge. Sounds like an adventure show.
and I agree, Miss Lindell. Carbon Creek
For no reason,
is
I'm
my
sorry.
favorite Enterprise episode.
Oh yeah,
What is that one about?
Velcro.
That's
Velcro.
the Vulcans land in West Virginia.
Oh yeah, that one's awesome. That one has to be the best.
That one you could put down into one word: Velcro.
Yeah, I like it.
Vulcan stuck on Earth. Nothing could be more hilarious. I love it.
I don't know why, but every time I go back to Enterprise, the first one I watch is In a Mirror Darkly.
Mhm.
All the
Love
cool
it.
kids had Velcro in their sneakers. That's what Mom told me. I'm kidding.
Well, and you
She
couldn't
didn't tell
play
me
with
that.
them.
That's what
Can't
I
play with them in
assumed.
class.
Damn voice to text anyway. I knew what you meant, Cardinal Sin. I knew what you meant.
I know. I deliberately read it the way it was written because I've thought of that too about that show, especially when I'm hungry.
Oh, oh. Yeah.
And then also playing today on Scotty's channel
Yes.
is on the Phantasmagorium. He's going to be talking about. They've been talking about Batman every Wednesday, and today they're going to talk about Batman and Robin because they've already talked about Batman 66 and Batman Forever, and I was actually on the panel when they talked about Batman Returns because that one is my favorite.
Cool. I didn't get to see that one because it would have been nice to have seen.
It was good. No, I don't know what goes on with that channel, but it seems like the notifications don't really go out for it.
There are some channels I barely get notifications for, and others it's just like anytime they come on, boom. It seems kind of random. So I've had to go in and unclick the bell and then recheck it, and you know.
Yeah, that's what I
But-
do. I cycle it and turn it off and back on. That's what I had to do for Orville Nation because I wasn't getting any notifications from him until I did that.
Yeah, he was one I wasn't getting notifications from. And this was when he was doing stuff regularly. It's like, wait a minute. I was seeing stuff on Twitter, which is the only reason I knew it was going on. So
Yeah, it's just because he's really good at communicating that I knew.
yeah.
Also.
But yeah, it's about that 20 minutes before Culture Casino goes live. I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up here. I do want to thank everybody who's been on the panel and everybody who's been in the chat. Thank you so much. Anything else that's going on in the next couple of days before wrap up?
Well, tonight we're over at the Phantasmagorium show. We're going to be checking out Batman and Robin. We've been going through all the Batman movies, and tonight is the night where Clooney and Schwarzenegger reign supreme. And then tomorrow night is Quantum Leap with Jill.
Awesome. Looking forward to that. And what time are those at?
Oh, it's oh heavens, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific for Batman and Robin, and Quantum Leap is at 10:30 Eastern, 9:30 Central. Right?
Right. That's correct.
Awesome.
9:30.
I'll have to watch on the replay because I'm going to be asleep by 9:30. I guarantee that.
Fair enough. The Quantum Leap episodes aren't going anywhere, and yeah, they're all on a playlist over on that channel.
Yeah, and on Friday on my channel, I'll have a discussion about Forbidden Planet.
Yay!
Can't wait.
And with that, I do want to thank everybody who's been on the panel this morning. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
You all
Thank you.
have a great day.